more runs in an inning.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins, and a different look with Delman Young in left, Bernard Span in center, Michael Kadider in right. Joe Creedy has a bit of a hamstring strain. Brian Bucher getting the start at third. Brendan Harris at short, Tolbert at second, Morneau at first, and Joe Mauer behind the plate. It has been a pattern for the Twins over the last couple of weeks, and Baker was accepted from that pattern in his last start, but runs early, and the Twins seems like in just about every game have found themselves with opponent runs up on the board in the first 3 innings, and some of those crooked numbers you talked about have really made things tough on the Twins.
Well, the biggest thing for Baker, he's given up 8 home runs, 5 2-run home runs, 1 3-run home runs, and only 2 solo home runs. So there's your multi-innings. You know, if you're going to give them up as a solo home run.
See the Twin starters in our Chrysler Key stat: 25 home runs allowed in 29 games, and maybe one of the most damaging home runs of the year in Baker's last start, a 3-run home run by Jose Guillen that started the Royals' comeback, and before Baker could get out of the inning, the Royals not only broke up his no-hitter but took the lead and won the ball game. Here's Ichiro Suzuki. The Seattle lineup struggling to score runs. They have lost 4 straight, and in those 4 games have scored a total of 19 runs, and just 4 runs scored in the 2 games they played in Kansas City. Morneau picked it up off the ground, a wicked liner, and Ichiro is out for the first out of the inning.
Well, we saw that in yesterday's ball game. Justin, he's going to win a Rawlings Gold Glove one year because of his great defense. Right here, look at this. I mean, he's like a hockey goalie, you know. He looked like he played hockey at one time. He did not let that puck get into right field. Oh, that's right, he did.
He did play hockey, yes. 1 gone, and here is Endy Chavez, who had a good first series here against the Twins, but now he's struggling. Just 3 hits in his last 29 at bats, and Baker hits the outside corner.
Chavez in his first season with the Mariners, his 9th season at the major league level. Last 3 seasons with the Mets. Right on top of the plate.
And a breaking ball over for strike 2. To center, a base hit, so the Mariners with a couple of well-hit balls. Chavez with a big turn at first. He'll hold up with a single.
You know, the biggest thing for Baker, it's the angle. I always talk about get on top of the ball and create that downward plane. But take a look at this fastball right here. It's a good fastball, but watch, it just stays on the same plane. There's no movement. So, of course, he's getting hit hard because there's no action on that ball as far as going from his wrist to the say that on top of home plate. It's pretty straight.
Jose Lopez hitting 3rd for the Mariners.
That's a better angle right there. That's where you want to be as a pitcher to get strike 1. Work away, down and away, and then if you come in off the plate.
You said in your bullpen sessions before a start, that's the pitch you wanted to have before you left the bullpen, right? The fastball down and away.
Down and away. That's the only pitch I wanted control of to a right-hander and a left-hander.
You know, another called strike.
As a starter, Dick, you have the chance, if you get ahead in the count, you get a chance to work on other pitches. But that's a fastball that gets you ahead in the count, so you can, I mean, if he can do that time after time, and Chuck Merriweather's going to give him that low strike, might be bowling for dollars.
2 strikes to Lopez.
Now this is where the Twins have been hurt on this road trip. Ahead in the count. See what Baker does here.
Well, even Guillen's home run in Baker's last start was on an 0-2 pitch.
Yep.
1-2.
You know, very young age, I got to sit down with Don Drysdale, and he talked about the importance of repeating sometimes, especially go inside. Everything has been away to all the hitters. See if you're going to go in, go hard in. But now we're again sitting down and away as the throw is over to first. Chavez at first base, 5 stolen bases in 6 attempts.
Mariners steal percentage not the best. 18 steals, 9 caught stealings. That's Minnesota high school math, 67%.
Very good.
1-2. Runner goes, got a great jump, and Lopez off the handle of the bat tapped it foul. Chavez had that base stolen.
Well, that was a good pitch right there. Even though Chavez got a good jump. Look at Joe Mauer sitting inside. There goes Chavez. He's a speedster. And Baker did go inside, and I'm sure that Rick Anderson met with all his pitchers, said, listen, we're going to go in and make sure you get it in. They've left too many balls over the plate.
Swing and a miss, and Baker gets a strikeout for out number 2.
Well, that looked like the cutter or the slider right here. Got a little movement on it. And maybe it was the pitch before that set up that pitch right there, because Baker did go hard in. Lopez fouled it off, and then he went back away.
10 pitches, 8 strikes for Baker, and here's Russell Branyan. Mariners were here to start the season. Branyan was hitting 7th, but he's been swinging such a productive bat. He's hitting 4th here, second time through the Metrodome, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. 7 home runs already for Branyan. With the home runs come the strikeouts.
Now, I was talking, Dick, about the fastball outer half of the plate. Now, if he's going to go down and away, that's more the 2-seam fastball. Here's the 4-seam fastball. Good pitch. That's the difference between getting strike 1 to a left-hander than strike 1 to a right-hander. Right-hander's more the 4-seamer. To the left-hander, more the 2-seamer to hit the outer half of the plate.
They came inside. Branyan's up there with that open stance, looking like he wants to pull everything into the upper deck, and Baker with a fastball above the swing.
Yeah, see if they go up the ladder.
Sails outside. Chavez is in with a stolen base. So on an 0-2 pitch, Chavez takes off and swipes second base.
Well, he got a great jump again off of Baker, not Joe Mauer. And right here you see Chavez going, and by the time Joe releases the ball, Chavez is 2/3 of the way there. Nice pick right there by Harris from keeping that ball from going into center field.
So now 1-2 to Branyan. Half swing got him. So everything put in play was hit sharply, but Baker gets a couple of strikeouts and a scoreless first. Hoping to hit in the first. Here is the Menards batting order for your Minnesota Twins. Menards Span leading off. Matt Tolbert Hitting second, Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, Jason Kubel, then Michael Kadire, Brian Bucher back into the lineup, and then Delman Young and Brendan Harris.
And that lineup would be facing Chris Jacobakis. Okay, now I'm not very good at pronunciations, and Dick, I'm going to need your help with this, but I do know he made his major league debut here in relief, and if you're playing Scrabble, his word is worth 37 points, his last name.
Oh, man, I could do better than that. You put the K or the B on the triple letter score.
Wow, we just went without that.
Okay. All right. Strike one to Denard Span. Span, Tolbert, and Mauer to get things started. What the Twins would like to do, get that early lead, build on it, and get this homestand started in the right direction. Fouled back. For a 4-game road trip, for a short road trip, it sure was a long one. Started with a win. The Twins lost the last 3 games, had weather issues, travel issues, and Ron Gardenhire happy to be home. 3 with the Mariners, a day off, and then 3 with Detroit. 2 strikes to Denard Span. Just off the inside corner.
Jacobowski is 30 years old now. He was signed out of the Independent League by the Seattle Mariners in 2007.
Span drops a base hit into left center field. So the Twins get their leadoff man on, and the Mariners defense lines up this way. Brought to you by Northland Ford. Speedy Endy Chavez in left. Franklin Gutierrez made maybe the catch of the year in Seattle's first series here. Ichiro, a Gold Glove winner in right. Beltre, Betancourt, Lopez, Branyan the infield. Jojima spent some time on the disabled list. He's back behind the plate. Here's Matt Tolbert. Boy, you look at this Mariner outfield defense, and they can cover some ground. All 3 guys are plus defenders. Gutierrez with a diving catch in the gap in the final game of the series here back in April. And Chavez very fleet of foot.
Ichiro, 8 straight Rolling Gold Gloves out in right field.
Span diving back.
And Denard Span 7 for 7 in stolen base attempts. Twins with 18 stolen bases. They have been caught 6 times. There's Ichiro.
Tolbert in last night's game provided a highlight and a disappointing 1-run loss with maybe the 2 best placed bunts of the year. He bunted for a base hit, then he dropped down a sacrifice. That's hit to the gap in left center. Gutierrez chasing it. He won't get this one. It bounces into the seats. And Tolbert has a double, and he hit it to almost the exact spot where Gutierrez made his sensational catch a month ago.
Well, the pitch left up in the strike zone, and Tolbert with his first extra base hit, his 3rd since being recalled from Rochester. Lining it, and Gutierrez giving it a ride, but it bounces on the warning track and over the fence for a ground rule double.
So now Mauer will hit. 10 hits in 21 at bats. And Ron Gardenhire saying this afternoon he's going to try to get Mauer's bat into the lineup in all 3 games. Twice as a catcher, once as a designated hitter. The hits have come almost exclusively up the middle into the opposite field, which is true to form for Joe Mauer. He got an extra base hit against the baggy and right in the last homestand.
A tremendous eye at the plate, tremendous patience at the plate. Works the pitcher into the count that a lot of times is in his favor. 2-1, 3-1.
And off-speed pitch clips the corner, 1-1.
And he's a hitter that's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. You know, a lot of hitters go up there. They don't want to go 2 strikes because they might have to swing at a breaking ball and strike out. Joe Mauer has so much confidence that he can hit like a Wade Boggs with the count 0-2 or 2 strikes on him.
Two and one. Jakubowski's made quite an impression on the Twins. He and the other relievers that the Mariners ran out on the mound in the first series here, and must have made quite an impression with the Mariners too, because they moved him into the rotation. Breaking ball, shaving the outside corner, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, we saw good movement on the fastball. There's that curveball. He'll also mix in a changeup. Good downward plane on that curveball that just clips the corner. Says Chuck Merriweather, the home plate umpire.
2-2 to Mauer. Fastball up and in. So it's been hard stuff in and soft stuff away in this at bat. Full count to Mauer. Little roller to second. It'll score a run. And Mauer putting the ball in play and getting the Twins the first lead of the game.
Now, productive out right there. Not only getting Joe Mauer an RBI as Denard Span scores, also allows Matt Tolbert to go from second to third, and now giving Justin Morneau an opportunity to get a ground ball out. Breaking ball, and you can see the concentration he has to keep that head on the ball as he leaves the bat. Mauer picking up his 5th RBI.
And now Morneau. Fly ball, center field. Gutierrez with the catch. Tolbert coming home. And the throw, not in time. Up the line just a little bit. Gutierrez aired it out, and Morneau hit it just deep enough. It's 2-0.
Well, you talked about the speed that they can cover. Gutierrez with an outstanding arm. Ichiro Suzuki an outstanding arm. Chavez okay. But Gutierrez getting behind the ball and then going a little bit toward the third base side and allows Tolbert to scoop behind him to score the 2nd run of the ball game. For Morneau, his 23rd RBI of the year. The Twins take a 2-0 lead.
Strike one to Kubel.
We just saw right there why that out at second base for Joe Mauer was important, because it advanced Tolbert from second to third.
Mariners, as we said, going through a tough stretch where runs have just been hard to come by, and so the Twins doing exactly what they wanted to do, and that is jump on the Mariners early, get a couple of early runs, and put some pressure on that Seattle lineup. That's the last thing it needs, is more pressure when they're going through the doldrums right now. Don Wakamatsu doing a great job in his first year with the Mariners. 3-1 to Kubel, and a strike fills the count. Foul to the net. Unless or until Kadair, a Young, somebody else on the right side of the plate starts driving the ball on a consistent basis, Twins are content to go with the 3 lefties in a row in the middle of the lineup. Mauer, Morneau, Kubel are all retired, but the Twins get a couple of runs and take an early 2-0 lead. Jacobaskas. And now Scott Baker will pitch to the Mariners in the second. Adrian Beltre will lead things off.
Yeah, pitching coach Rick Adair talking to Jacobaskas right there. And a good inning for Scott Baker. He did give up a 1-out single to Eddie Chavez, but able to strike out Lopez and Branyan to end the first.
Up and in to the slumping Adrian Beltre. Beltre with a dozen runs driven in, but the average down, and he still has not hit a home run.
And let's keep it that way.
And Baker working the corners. 1-1. Foul back into the seats. 1-2.
Baker making his 7th career start against the Seattle Mariners, looking for his first career win against the Mariners. He's 0-3 with a 5.5 ERA.
Popped up, straight up, and Mauer puts it away. 1 down. Roy Smalley with us down on the field. Roy, so far pretty good pitching pattern for Scott Baker.
It really is, Dick. And there's one thing I guarantee you, Bert and I will always agree about, and that's the effectiveness of pitching inside. He did it really effectively in the first inning with Branyan hitting, went inside hard, and then got him. You see a hitter like that pulling out, you know that he's protected against the inside part of the plate, and Scott Baker has got to do that, Bert. You're absolutely right. You talked about it in the first inning. I hope to see that all during the game here for Scott.
And that's the thing. You have to maintain it. That's why I said the endurance. Keep it going. And you maintain the drive out there.
Ken Griffey Jr. taking ball 1 from Scott Baker. And that one hit the corner.
Dick and Bert, if you don't really bury in a hitter's mind that you are going to come inside, not just once in a while, but often, you can't ever get him in a hurry, and if he's not in a hurry, you can't get him out. It's not to hit guys or intimidate them necessarily, although, Bert, I know you like that. But it's about getting a guy in a hurry so that your other pitches can be effective.
Well, the thing is about the starting rotation, they know around the league that these guys have good control. So you can still have good control, but bust them inside once in a while. Make them move their feet. I'm not talking about hitting anybody. I'm just saying work both sides of the plate. That's all. Because that pitch right there to Ken Griffey Jr. Now he's an established, major leaguer, 21st season at the major league level, but you don't want him to feel comfortable that, hey, he's just going to stay away and then I'm just going to drive the ball the other way. Come in once in a while. Let him know that you will come in off the plate. It's Baker's plate right now.
And he strikes out Griffey. 3rd strikeout so far for Scott Baker.
Well, he showed this the other day when he had the 6 no-hit innings. The first couple, 3-4 innings, he picked up his strikeouts because his arm is solid. And you can see right there that ball has a little bit of giddy-up. Good attack right there by Baker toward home plate.
Catcher Kenji Jojima will hit next for the Mariners. Speed pitch over the inside corner.
Jojima in his 4th season with the Seattle Mariners. Put on a disabled list on April 16th with a strained right hamstring, activated on May 1st.
And a bouncer up the middle for a 2-out single. And that'll bring up Franklin Gutierrez. Gutierrez hitting down in the bottom of the Seattle order, but you wonder how long that'll be the case. He's been a productive hitter for Seattle and has shown some power.
Traded from the Cleveland Indians over the winter. He's got to be happy to be in Seattle and Cleveland. He was kind of platooning Here he gets a chance to play every day in his natural position in center field. Of course, Cleveland has Grady Sizemore. Nobody's going to move him out of there.
Well, platooning with Shin-Soo Choo, and the Indians kind of felt that Choo had kind of a breakthrough season last year for them. And now maybe it's Gutierrez's turn to have the breakthrough season with his new ball club.
25 pitches for Baker, 21 strikes so far.
Half swing, I think he went, but Eric Cooper said he didn't. 1-1. The new Mariner administration made as a point of emphasis better overall defense, particularly up the middle. In the outfield, swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Well, they got a good one in Gutierrez, and with Chavez and Ichiro flanking him, they are going to have one of the better defensive outfields in the game. One and two to Gutierrez, and he lifts it into the seats. This was back in the fourth game of the year, and the best catch I've seen yet this year. How he got to the ball, no one knows, and he caught it inches above the turf, backhanded, and the ball stayed in his glove.
Yeah, it looks like a Torrey Hunter catch, doesn't it?
Yep.
Or Kirby Puckett catch. Too good a pitch right there, 1-2. Gutierrez fouled off a pitch up. Now you have to make a good pitch here. Gutierrez missed his pitch, in my opinion, that last pitch.
Tapper left side. Bucher charges. And he got Gutierrez by a half step. Good inning for Baker. A 2-out single does no damage.
Did something they're not accustomed to doing, and that is capitalizing, scoring 2 or more runs with 2 or more runners on and actually with no one out. In fact, it was the 25th time this season the Twins have been in that situation. 2 or more runners on with no one out. 8 times they've come away scoreless, and on 9 occasions they've scored just once. And tonight was just the 8th time this season, guys, that they've had the sacks loaded or almost loaded and come away with 2 or more runs.
Well, that's what you want to see right there. Thank you, Robbie, and your tie looks really good. He tied it himself tonight.
Is that right?
Yes, he did.
And you helped him in Baltimore during a rain delay.
Well, I had to kind of get him through today, but he did a good job.
2 strikes to Kadire, starting the Twins second. Fisted foul over the head of Jerry White. Kadire, Bucher, and Young facing Jacobuskas. You know, in the first inning, you said Jacobaskas was in the independent league, and boy, saying that probably doesn't do his a little pop-up right center field, and Ichiro coming in and making a sliding catch. Good play, and Ichiro playing that like a metronome veteran, sliding on his uniform and raising his exposed skin to not get a rug burn.
Well, he covers a lot of ground right there. Good concentration. Bucher able to track that ball and make the nice sliding catch.
One down, that'll bring up Bucher. Saying that Jacobaskas was in an independent league tells just part of the story. He spent 4.5 years there, first as a position player. They converted him to a pitcher. Now, as I think most fans have figured out by now, there's not a whole lot of money in independent league baseball. And to do it 4.5 years in a row, we always admire players who spend a lot of time in the minor leagues and then get called up. But when you have spent that much time in an independent league and hang with it, that tells you something about his perseverance.
Well, we just left Baltimore, and George Sherrill was the same thing.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, there are guys that love the game of baseball. For Jacobaskas, he went to the University of Oklahoma. He rarely pitched. He mainly played first base in the outfield.
A 5-pitch walk puts Bucher aboard. Interested in single game suites? Mike Redmond has some information.
Twins baseball is great for entertaining clients, recognizing employees, and celebrating birthdays. Oh, and bachelor and bachelorette parties too. Call us today to book your group at the Dome. Thanks for your support.
Delman Young, the hitter, and our thanks to Mike Redmond. Pitch is away, ball one. What do you think Redmond's going to be doing 20 years from now?
He'll be managing somewhere, probably. Always has that smile on his face. He loves the game of baseball.
I just wonder whenever it ends for Redmond as a player whether he might not find himself still in the Twins organization. It has been such a great fit for Mike and his family. They love the area here, but for the Twins organization to have him, he just has meant so much to this ball club. Young lifts it deep, but fouled on the right field line. Young hitless in the 4-game Seattle series here to get the season started. One and two. And now 2-2. Mariners hitting the skids a little bit, losing 4 straight, and they've seen the Texas Rangers move into first place in the American League West. But clearly the team to watch in that division, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, who have endured so much, and they are just a little bit below the 500 mark. Nice catch by Jojima. And now they're starting to get some of that frontline starting pitching back, and that somebody didn't run away from the Angels in the first 5 weeks of the season may end up costing everybody in that division.
Yeah, the Angels have won 7 out of their last 10 ball games. Coming in today's play, 13 and 14.
3-2 to Young. Bucher takes off, and that's ball 4. Bucher needs to stay on the bag. Home plate umpire Chuck Merriweather made no gesture for the fans, and Jojima may not have heard ball 4 called.
Well, not a lot of walks for Young, only his 4th on the season. And Merriweather must say that pitch was high.
Carroll,
yep.
one out high. Walks. Brendan Harris to the plate. Ball one. Bucher with the fewest number of at-bats among the players who broke camp with the ball club.
Bucher going out to talk to his right-hander. I didn't hear who is the new manager in Arizona. Did they name one today? I forgot to look.
Well, we'll find out. I'm trying to think of the name I read in the paper this morning. Bob Melvin, of course, was the manager of the Mariners at one point. He was fired in Seattle and then was fired last night, as manager of the Diamondbacks. Bucher in second, coming into the ballgame with just 28 at-bats. Redmond with 34. And then Gomez with 49. Harris with 52 at-bats coming into play tonight. 1-0. And Chakobaskas having a hard time throwing strikes here in the second inning. Nick Punto struggled. A bit of a hitless string has had Punto's average dive below 200. So Harris getting the start at short tonight. With Span on deck.
When Rick Adair went out there, the pitching coach, I thought of Brian Price because he resigned from the Diamondbacks.
That's why. The pitching coach,
right. He was here.
They cleaned house in Seattle last year. 3-0 to Harris. 3-1. From the general manager on down, Mariners swept everybody out and have a lot of new players trying to forget all about the worst season in Mariner history. Hit hard to right field. Up, back, gone! A 3-run jolt for Brendan Harris.
Home run number 2 on the year for Brendan Harris. Worked the count in his favor. Got a pitch up, a fastball up, and just taking it the other way. Just clearing the baggie out in right field. And the Twins take a 5-0 lead.
Here's Span. Dropped a single in the left field his first time up. Scored on a Mauer ground ball. Wow. First 3-run home run for the Twins this year. And the 20th home run hit by the Twins. Beltre to the mound, and Chakobaskas had retired 4 batters in a row, but something happened in the Bucher at bat. He walked him on 5 pitches, walked Young on 6 pitches, and was in danger of walking Harris before he clubbed a 3-run homer. 2-1.
Roy Smalley, Brendan Harris, he's that utility type player, but boy, he's had some good at bats so far this year.
He really has, Bert, in a tough role. You know, we've talked a little bit about Denard Span moving around, and is that hard on your hitting stroke when you're thinking about defense in different places? Well, in the outfield, well, Brendan Harris not only has played all 3 infield positions out there other than first, but he also has not gotten an awful lot of at-bats. But when he's been in there, his stroke has been just terrific. He just never seems to miss a beat.
Bouncer to short. Bettencourt fires across. Span retired for the second out of the inning.
Every time he gets up there, it seems like he puts a quality at bat on the pitcher, and I really admire that. When a guy's not getting a lot of at bats, but he does his work in batting practice and is able to carry that somehow into the game when he gets the opportunity. This young man's been hitting line drives all over the field all during this first part of the season.
Well, Ron, you had to kind of do that yourself, didn't you, toward the end of your career, principally as a an infielder or a DH type, from being a full-time player in your first stint with the Twins to being a part-time player toward the end.
Yeah, I did, but I got a lot of at-bats as a DH and mostly as a left-hand hitter toward the end of my career.
Sure. Bouncer to short. Betancourt over to first. Tolbert retired. Good inning for the Twins. They get their first 3-run home run of the year. And they jump out in front 5-0. By Explore Minnesota. Visit exploreminnesota.com. Plan your next Minnesota vacation today. Another look at the beautiful Lake of the Isles and the Minneapolis Chain of Lakes Regional Park. It's connected to Cedar Lake and Lake Calhoun and is part of the Chain of Lakes Regional Park, averaging 5.5 million visitors a year. Wow. And there'll be 1 million people hoping to have an Explore Minnesota moment or two, or maybe 6. The limit of walleyes tomorrow, the fishing opener in 4 hours and 6 minutes. Lifted foul over the Mariner.
Now, have you been to a fishing opener? I mean, have you actually?
Well, yeah, I used to go out during the day, but there was one year I went out by myself at midnight to be the first one on the water.
So if you got there at 11:30, do you just sit in your boat for a half hour? I mean, you cannot throw your line out.
That's correct. You're legally.
You can't take that night crawler out.
No, you're not supposed to. If you catch anything before midnight, then you have to release it back to the lake, which is always a very difficult thing for me to do. If I catch a walleye, I want to eat the thing. That's one of the reasons I enjoy it. Here's a fly to right, and Kadire camped under it. Betancourt retired one away. You can submit a question to us online at carsoup.com/baseball. Steve S. That's an initial. That's not his last name. From Plymouth. Why do you guys give your guess to the trivia question before we can think of an answer? I'll have to think about that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're just throwing out names. We're just
Steve S. We're letting him think right now about the question.
Ichiro. Ichiro with a liner to Morneau his first time up.
You think Steve S. is thinking about it right now?
One and one to Ichiro. Left field line, and Young will come up a couple steps short. Well, now, as part of the fishing opener tomorrow, you have agreed to eat bait to raise money for Parkinson's.
A couple night crawlers.
A couple night crawlers. We've gotten a lot of pledges. Today I brought a night crawler in, and you showed it off to our pregame show viewing audience. And I just want everybody to know that I took the thing outside and released it back into the wild. That was a genuine Wright County night crawler, and I let it outside here in Hennepin County. I hope that's not a violation of a fish and game law.
You don't know, but right there, if you'd like to make a donation, you can go to those websites right there. It doesn't have to be $100. It can be $5. It can be $10. But it's all for research for that deadly disease that took my dad, the Parkinson's. But just to follow up on the Arizona Diamondback naming replacement manager, it was A.J. Hinch.
That's the name I was trying to think of.
A.J. Hinch was a farm director.
I remember him as a backup catcher for a whole bunch of teams. I knew it was an A.J., and I figured it wasn't Pierzynski.
Got to ask him, did he go? Whoa, very close right there.
Laz Diaz said no. We're talking about Mike Redmond someday being a manager. I can't imagine A.J. Pierzynski being a manager when his playing career's over.
Able to keep the barrel of the bat back.
2-2 to Ichiro. And Baker can't get it. Tolbert quickly got him. Oh, what a play! Matt Tolbert with a great play to retire Ichiro.
That was a great play on Tolbert. Came in. He only had one play, but it's even just as nice as play for Justin Morneau, because he doesn't know where this ball is going to end up. Watch Tolbert come in. Justin just kind of, last second reach up. And if Baker can't get it, it's usually trouble with Ichiro with that speed of his. But a very nice defensive play by Tolbert and a good reaction by Justin Morneau.
2 down, and here's Andy Chavez. Chavez has been struggling, as we said, during his first inning at bat, 3 for 29. And then he promptly lined a single to center.
You know, as we go into the me-eating night crawlers or tomorrow, I want to thank Stan Dickman of the Twins Fantasy Camp, because he got hold of all the campers, and a lot of them have made very nice donations. And I got one today from Scott and Janet Willis. They're out of Tennessee, Ashland City, Tennessee. They said they would match up to $5,000.
Wow.
Yeah, incredible.
Of course, being involved with a fantasy camp, they've seen you ingest even more disgusting things than night crawlers over the years. 2-1.
Dr. Crutchfield today brought over a check for $1,000.
We're going to do that tomorrow during the pregame show.
Yes.
Starting at 5:30. Harris to his left cuts it off. Morneau the stretch at the other end, and Baker has a 1-2-3 third inning. Now Joe Mauer, who drove in one of those first inning runs, will lead off the third. Strike one. Mauer, Morneau, and Kubel, the three lefties stacked together, facing Jakubowski. Under the arms, and it's 1-1.
Well, he's got a good arm. He's got good movement. He just left that pitch up to Harris. He fell behind 3-1.
And fouled over the Twins dugout, 1-2. The division leading Royals are out on the West Coast. They're opening up a series with the Angels tonight. And Royals leading everybody by at least 3 games. Twins by 5. Two and two. Grounded to first, fielded by Branyan. Mauer retired, 1 away.
Good changeup right there.
It's a pitch that Jakubowski added this year. Tomorrow night, the Twins will be hosting the Mariners, and the first 5,000 kids 14 and under will get a Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau Silver Slugger ball and bat set, courtesy of Old Dutch Foods. You can reserve your tickets for the Twins and Mariners by calling 833-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. Those two players being awarded their silver bats tomorrow in a pregame ceremony, and a couple of other silver bat award winners for the Twins. Misters Oliva and Killebrew will be, Oliva and Carew. This one to left center field, and Chavez streaks in to make the catch, out number 2. Tony Oliva and Rod Carew will be part of the ceremonies. 2 down, and that'll bring up Kubel.
Yeah, Rod has 7 of those silver bats.
Well, see, he has 7 bats as batting champions. Now there's a separate award, and I'm not sure when they started. The player that's voted the best hitter at every position. In other words, Morneau didn't win a batting championship, but he won the award as a Silver Slugger, the best hitting first baseman in the league. And I believe it's the players or the managers and coaches that vote for that, as they do for the Gold Glove. I believe that to be the case. 2 strikes to Kubel. One and 2. Twins have just the 3 hits, but 2 of them have gone for extra bases. A double by Tolbert in the first that opened up the inning and allowed the Twins to score a couple of runs on outs, and then Harris with his 3-run home run. 2 and 2 to Kubel. Sliced to the corner, but into the seats. Tap foul. Mariners obviously coming to Minnesota twice. The Twins go to Seattle once in early June. And Kubel hanging tough. High drive, deep center field. Gutierrez going back off the very top of the wall. And Kubel will have a 2-out double. A fraction of an inch from clearing the fence. And it's another extra base hit for the Twins.
I don't know how that ball could have not bounced over. Now that fence is very tight out there, but this ball, like you said, it's got to be an inch. It hit right off the top and bounced back into fair play. Look at that. Almost right off the tip of it. See the bands right there that reinforces that fence.
Curveball wide to Kadair, ball 1.
Well, the double for Kubel, his 9th double of the year, and the 4th hit for the Twins.
And a fastball that cuts the plate in half, 1-1. Tapper foul, and it's 1-2. Activity in the Seattle bullpen again. Miguel Bautista warming up for the second time. One and two. Jacobowski's trying to wrap up this 3rd inning without any further damage being done. It's down the right field line. And Ichiro makes the catch in fair territory. Kubel nearly hits one out. It stays in the ballpark, and the Twins don't score in the 3rd. And we're going to take you to Baltimore, where we just were. And Alex Rodriguez's first swing of the year, like Joe Mauer's first swing of the year, a 3-run home run. And the Yankees now lead the Orioles 4-0 in the 8th inning. I'm not sure that covers everything the Yankees need, but a welcome sight having Alex Rodriguez back in the lineup and having a productive first at bat. Lopez, Branyan, and Beltre facing Baker here in the 4th. Now, if Alex Rodriguez can pitch, then they've got something, because the Yankees are really struggling in the pitching department. Only the Cleveland Indians have a higher team ERA. With the signing of A.J. Burnett and C.C. Sabathia, the Yankees have a team ERA of 5.85. Now, we know things haven't gone as well as the Twins had hoped in the pitching department, but the Yankees The New York Yankees giving up about a half an earned run more per game than the Twins. Mauer with his second foul out catch. One down in the fourth. Nissan game reset with the Twins getting a couple in the first and 3 in the second.
Well, Brendan Harris, after a couple of walks, ends up hitting his second home run of the year, and Baker has that 5-0 lead. The pitch count right now at 48 pitches, 36 have been strikes.
Here's Branyan. Went down swinging in the first. We're going to get a look at the Yankees on our next road trip. We've got 4 games there coming up next weekend. And it'll be very interesting to see how they respond now that they've got Alex Rodriguez back in the lineup. Fouled away, 2 strikes.
Well, Baker with 3 strikeouts in the ball game. His second strikeout to end the first was Russell Branyan. Ahead in the count. He struck out Branyan on a breaking ball down and in. Bauer sitting inside. The ball left out over the plate. Too good a pitch again. You know, as a former pitcher, Dick, a lot of times when I'm like right there, I leave that ball out over the plate. I want to come right back in because it's a motivating factor for me, more of a mental thing for me to tell myself you have to get the ball in there. And now they're going away. And he picks up the strikeout.
Second time that Branyan has struck out, 25th time on the season. And our Aflac trivia question, which now he won't answer until the 7th inning. Which visiting player has the most career runs batted in the Metrodome? Have to be somebody within the division, I would think. Oh, you're not even going to offer any.
No, I can't. I can't. You know, Steve Est, said this to hold off.
Okay, all right. 1-0.
Yeah, I kind of like that, really. Only because it gives me more time to look through the media guide.
I think most of the time in our answers, we answer every other question but the actual trivia question. We throw out a lot of trivial stuff that really hardly ever applies directly to the question we've been asked. Swing and a miss. And Beltre has a 1-2 count. There he is. Well, you're not going to find it.
I didn't know I was on.
Remember when they used to have that devious little camera up here and they could pop a shot of us up here in the booth whenever we're doing something we shouldn't be doing, which was quite often. 1-2. Baker gave up a 1-out single in the first and a 2-out single in the second, so no suspense about a no-hitter or anything like that. Now he just wants to pitch beyond the point of the game that he pitched effectively last time out.
Yeah, you have a lead like that, you want to keep them from getting on, and hopefully he'll right here. 1-2-3 inning again. 7 straight retired by Baker.
by Grand Casino Mille Lacs and Grand Casino Hinckley. Expect grand. And by Chrysler. From power and efficiency to innovation and style, it's the way our vehicles come together that sets us apart. Chrysler. Brian Bucher leading off the Twins' fourth, fouling the first pitch away, 1 strike. Bucher drew a big 1-out walk in the second, big because of what happened afterwards. There's another one that'll reach the seats. Bucher walked, Young walked, and then on a 3-1 pitch, Brendan Harris cracked one over the fence in right field, and that took the Twins' lead from 2-0 to 5-0.
Yeah, you're going to have little glitches in a ball game, especially if you're a starter, and when you leave a pitch up to Bucher after a couple walks, that hurts.
Probably just a coincidence, but it seems like we're seeing more and more pitchers do what Jacobakis does and bring his arms up over his head. Have you noticed that this year?
I like that. I like that because you get into a better flow. And it's a little more deceptive, I believe, to the hitter. A little more relaxing. And let her fly.
A little dribbler toward first. Jacobakis covers the bag, and Lopez throws him out. 1 away, and that'll bring up Delman Young. So Jacobakis hoping to settle into a mid-inning groove here after the Harris home run. He's given up just 1 hit. That was Kubal's double that nearly left the ballpark. Young walked and scored. Bounce foul. You look at the Twin stat sheet, and I referenced it before, how Bucher hasn't had a chance to play much. Harris has been a part-time player. But here's Delman Young, who's had 73 at bats coming into the season. But Carlos Gomez, who was the freshest face on this team a year ago, and Carlos Gomez has only 49 at bats this year. Dribbler in front of the third baseman Beltran, and Young will get an infield hit. Branyan pulling his foot off the bag, and it should be an infield hit for Delman Young.
Well, Beltran, he's won Gold Gloves over there at third. He comes in and kind of sidearm it, and Delman Young gets an infield base hit.
Our Aflac trivia question, and I'll just go with Jim Thome.
I'll go with Frank Thomas.
Okay.
Of course, you have that man right there, Ken Griffey Jr.
Aflac. Really? And that surprises me.
And I did mention him that he's here.
You mentioned he was in the shot. I didn't know that was an official guess, but that ball rolls away from Young, and he'll have a chance to go to second base. Should be an error charged, I would guess, to Branyan. And tagging Young, the ball rolled through the webbing of the first baseman's mitt.
I don't think Delman Young knew exactly where that ball was. He went back in, standing up. And then, I think I got a piece of Delman Young. Hit him in the buttocks.
The error charged to the pitcher, Jacobakis. And now Harris.
They told us in a truck we just got an email from Steve S., and he said, thank you very much. It'll be the last time we do it, Steve. Just want to let you know that. We mentioned Ken Griffey Jr., so we got it right.
Well, that does surprise me, though, because Griffey was in the National League for a lot of years. And even when he was with Seattle, a couple times a year they'd come here.
Well, how many home runs did Jim Thome hit off the Twins here, or Frank Thomas? Future Hall of Famer right there, Ken Griffey Jr.
1 strike to Harris, trying to bring in Young from second base. One and one. Tigers beat the Indians 1-0. Here's Junior's numbers here at the Metrodome. outside 2-1.
Chakabakis right now 76 pitches, 48 for strikes. A couple of walks in a ball game, no strikeouts.
High hopper over the mound. Lopez sets and fires. Harris retired, Young to third base. Can stay informed throughout the 2009 season with MLB.com. Team text alerts and video alerts. Customize your mobile alerts, including news, game summary, scores, and more. Sign up now by texting Get Twins to 65246 or visit MLB.com/mobile. Denard Span singled to start the ball game, scored a run, and then hit a bouncer to short. Thinking of bunting, he takes ball one. Twins hoping to just keep the foot on the accelerator here. Keep adding runs if they can. Fresh in their memory, I'm sure, the disappointing loss in the homestand finale to the Royals. Scott Baker had a 4-0 lead, and it all went in one inning. Bunted in the air, back to the net, 1-2. That man has asked Span, Casilla when he was here, Gomez when he's in the lineup, anybody up and down the Twins lineup to do more of that. Tolbert, now that he's here, has already proven to be a good bunter. A different way of keeping your foot on the accelerator. Liner back to Chakabakis, a soft one, and he was able to make the catch and end the inning. On to the fifth with the Twins up 5-0.
Scratch off tickets. Now let's get to business on this sign. Why did you make this?
I made it today before school.
You made it today before school, and what do you think is going to happen with Bert? He has to keep the worms down. You know that, right?
Yes, I do. And he's going to do it. He'll do it.
You have faith in him?
I absolutely do.
Okay, you've been circled by Bert. Did that make your night?
It made my night Mother's Day weekend.
And Mother's Day weekend, Mary. Well, congratulations. You got the $100 in lottery scratch-off tickets, and Bert tomorrow night doing this all for Parkinson's disease for a great cause.
Good for him. I'm glad. That's why I made the sign.
All right, Bert, there you go. You have another supporter way out here in left field.
Very nice, Mary. And you were hereby kind of circled. I tried to do a worm around the.
And let's set
circle.
the record straight. We're not talking about worms.
No,
we're
these
talking
are night
about
crawlers.
night crawlers.
Right.
Inside to Griffey, 2-1. And I'm of the belief that tonight, when I brought the sample nightcrawler to the ballpark, that was the first time you had ever seen a nightcrawler. Is that true?
Yes.
2-2.
It is. I have seen worms before, but when you held it up like I did in the pregame, I didn't realize that they're that long.
Yes. Yes.
So I'll have to get them when they shorten up.
2-2 to Griffey, leading off the fifth for Seattle. A high fly to center. Span started back. Now coming in. One down. And see what you do, starting at midnight tonight, if you wanted to, you put these night crawlers on a hook and you slowly drift or troll, and then the walleyes eat them and get hooked. Or you can just go ahead and put them under a slip bobber and hook them in the middle, and then they wriggle around and float, and then the walleyes eat them that way.
I'm just going to eat them.
Okay, one down.
I have no doubt that these babies will taste good tomorrow.
Really?
I have that much.
Now, have you
confidence.
decided two things? Have you decided whether you're going to chew or not?
I haven't decided that yet.
Okay, now what about seasonings or condiments?
No, I'm going straight out. Just going to clean it. That's all.
On the right field line and foul and out of play.
I was told to make sure it's good and clean before I put it in because of where it's been.
It's been in my worm box for the last week. Now there's a chance too, because I know when I got to the ballpark here it was raining off and on. There's a chance that when I drive home tonight there'll be a fresh batch on my driveway.
That's okay.
Do you want me to get you fresh ones?
That's fine. Yeah, see? I mean, they've probably done it before.
Yeah, they're from St. Cloud State. There we go. All right. One Husky to another. Appreciate the sentiment. Thank you. That's Nubb, and Baker will have a play. Throwing up Shojima for out number 2. And that'll bring up Franklin Gutierrez. You can follow Fox Sports North on Twitter for a preview of what's coming up, which is probably not the best phrasing given what's happening at tomorrow's broadcast on our Quest Twins live pre and post game shows. Go to twitter.com/FS North and start receiving exclusive updates from Fox Sports North.
You want me to bet you another $100? I do not have Chuck.
I'm not going to do that. I've seen you eat some pretty disgusting things. I was just trying to think of the guy. Matthew Lekroy ate a bug once in the clubhouse in Kansas City, right?
Yes.
And then we had a backup catcher here long time ago, Mike McSudian, who was proud of the fact that he would eat spiders, anything else, to supplement his income. Whatever the major league minimum was at the time, for as long as he was a major leaguer, he was trying to pick up a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I talked to my son Todd today, and when he was in Boise, Idaho, in the Angel minor league system, he ate a lot of different things to help the club.
Isn't it nice to know that genetically it's passed? What a legacy you're leaving.
Yes, I know. That's my boy. Come on, Todd, you eat it. No, give it to Mikey. No, Todd will eat it.
Like father, like son.
Yes. Hey, you know what? Who's going to get rewarded here is Parkinson's. And,
we've got so many generous viewers and people who've really responded to this. It really is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, we thank you very much.
2-1 to Gutierrez. Baker trying to put together his third straight 1-2-3 inning.
Well, they're really going to be upset when I call in sick tomorrow.
I'm not so much worried about tomorrow, but I got odds you're not going to make it on Sunday.
Piece of cake.
You want something to drink, by the way, to wash the night crawlers down tomorrow. I hadn't thought about that. That might be now. I know what you'd like to have to drink, but you can't have that because we're going to be on the air.
Water will be fine.
Okay. Well, I mean, walleye is about the best tasting fish there is, and if they eat night crawlers, The Nightcrawlers themselves have to taste good.
I hope so. Well, I'll let you know tomorrow. I wonder if it tastes like chicken, like everything else does.
I thought about that. How would you describe the taste of chicken to somebody?
Deer meat, any type of wild game.
2-2 to Gutierrez.
Well, this is what I was talking about Scott Baker in the pitching scouting report. The endurance, the drive, keep it going right here. Get out of this inning.
Popped up. Morneau will chase it. Tolbert will get there first. Inning over. Good inning for Scott Baker. 5 shutout innings, and the Twins lead 5-0. We're at the Dome. Opening game of a 3-game series. Opening game of a 6-game homestand. Roy Smalley, Robbie Ince-Mikowski, Bert Gladden, and Dick Bramer with the Twins. I was going to say comfortably in front, but I think we've learned our lesson.
No,
just ahead, 5-0.
Right.
Here's Matt Tolbert. A fly ball to left, hit right at Chavez for the first out of the 5th inning. Now you, of course, were tied up with baseball when you lived in Minnesota, first as a player, and then later you lived here for a couple of years when you were doing games on television. Did you ever spend much time fishing or able to fish on a fishing opener?
No. I wasn't really that much into fishing. My dad loved to fish. Now, actually, tomorrow my dad will be with me because I have a really nice 8x10 picture of him where he's fishing. So he's going to help me eat these night crawlers tomorrow.
Okay.
But when I moved down to Florida, we moved on the Caloosahatchee River, and the boys and I did a lot of fishing there. Not much up here.
Here's Mauer. Inside, 1-1. Joe 0 for 2, but he started the scoring for the Twins on a 2-strike pitch, hitting a roller to second, scoring Span from third base. Two and one.
Now in Staples, where you were born, I mean, there are probably a lot of lakes around there.
Right, I went to high school in Staples. I wasn't born there, but right. Well, rivers and lakes, sure. That's hit well to left field. Chavez will go back, and it's gone. A home run from Mauer. His second of the year, almost exactly where he hit his first one.
Boy, he has so much power the other way. Ron Coomer broke it down in that series where Joe Mauer first joined the Twins about his home runs and where a lot of them go, and it's right there. How he's able to keep both hands on the bat. And that ball just jumps off his bat. Second home run for Mauer. Twins have a 6-0 lead.
And Morneau takes ball one. Morneau with a sacrifice fly in the first. And a fly to left. This one a foul ball. And back into the seats. And another foul. 1-2.
Roy Smalley, I know you're down there. Joe Mauer, unbelievable swing.
Yeah, it's just about as good as you're ever going to see. He's able to keep the big end of the bat through the plane, in the same plane as the ball coming in for so long. The great hitters were able to do that. Tony Gwynn, Barry Bonds, those kind of guys. The big end of the bat stays level to the plane of the ball flight so long in the zone. But he's also a big, strong guy, and he's able to get extension back through the ball, so he doesn't have to turn and yank it. Oh, see you later.
Oh, my.
Roy was talking about how strong Joe Mauer is. How about Justin Morneau? Home run number 7.
Now that's some extension right there from a big, strong guy. That is way back. The difference between those two swings is that Justin is willing to get the head out, really extend to his full field when he gets a pitch that he thinks he can drive, when he's looking for a fastball. Joe is so disciplined and stays in the middle of the diamond, meaning he lets the ball get in on him a little bit farther. That's why he can win batting titles. But those two guys just showed right there why they are two of the preeminent hitters in baseball.
3 home runs for the Twins, and Kubel missed one by an inch. 3-0. And Giacobaskis might be a little rattled with the back-to-back home runs. And Miguel Batista is up for the 6th time tonight, it seems like. Taking all the way, a 4-pitch walk.
I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to see any more contact either.
Don Wakamatsu has seen his team hit its first real tough patch of the year, and it's not getting any easier tonight.
Well, you know what? We talked about the Twins. They didn't have the most successful road trip, just winning 1 of 4, but it's a long season, Dick, and you know you've been doing this long enough. You know it's that roller coaster ride that you go through that, you know, it finds out what you're made out of. The Twins here tonight, everything's starting to go good. Baker, 5 shutout innings. Guys are having very good at-bats. And that negative that you have coming off their negative road trip can be more positive now because of the way they're playing right now. Now they just have to hold on to it and win.
Now Kubel at first. 1 away for Kadire. And a ball. Kadire with a couple of flies to right field. And now 2-0. And Giacobaskis approaching the 100 pitch level. Bucher on deck. Three and 1. the Mariner dugout, 3-2. Yankees beat the Orioles 4-0. Alex Rodriguez homering in his first swing of the year with 2 men aboard in the first, and the Yankees took it in from there. Texas leading Chicago 5-0 in the bottom of the 5th at U.S. Cellular Field. The Rangers, the newest first-place club in the American League West. And a liner to center. Kadire with a good at-bat, and that'll chase Kuba to second base. In Cleveland, Tigers got a late run, and then in the bottom of the 9th, big drama with a man aboard. Grady Sizemore sent one to deep center field. Curtis Granderson brought it back. It would have been a 2-run game-winning home run for Sizemore. And Justin Verlander went the distance apparently to get the shutout. He got the 26th out, and then somebody got the 27th, and the Tigers beat the Indians 1-0.
Unbelievable ball game right there. It was Cliff Lee who started for the Indians.
And Lee's pitching very well. He's just not getting any run support. Never had been more true than tonight. Jacobaska's out, Batista in the Twins' 5th. To starter, and a tough night here tonight as Mauer Morneau homered here in the 5th. Twins already led 5-0 at the time, and the lead mounts for Scott Baker.
Here's Jacobaskas again making just his 5th major league start, and he just left the ball up. Some walks hurt him, and some pitches up in the strike zone. Miguel Batista coming out of the bullpen making his 10th relief appearance. 14 innings. He's walked 7 with 11 strikeouts.
1 strike to Brian Bucher. And fouled away. Say of Batista, he's refound some velocity. He had some stress fractures in his back that he had to deal with. That took its toll on his pitching mechanics. And now he's throwing the ball harder. 2 strikes to Bucher. Down and in a ball.
Well, Batista's been around the game. His 15th season at the major league level, his 3rd with the M's. He came up with the Pirates back in 1992. A guy that has been a closer, he's been a starter, he's been in this role here, long man.
Bucher sends it high and deep and gone. Another one into the upper deck. The 4th home run for the Twins tonight.
Ryan Bucher hitting his first home run of the year. A slider that just hung.
And the second 3-run home run of the season for the Twins.
Batista tries to go inside and just stayed right there, just spun until it met the bat of Brian Bucher. First home run for Brian Bucher since August 19th of last year here against the Oakland A's.
And an oddity, a trivial part of this 10-0 Twins lead, every Twins batter has scored a run. And Bucher scored 2 of them. Young has walked and singled. Two and one. On the outside corner, 2-2. We're just in the 5th inning. Twins already have 10 runs and 4 home runs.
First home run that Batista has allowed this year.
Over the Mariner dugout.
Came into this ball game talking about, the Twins needing some extra base hits. Yesterday they had 14 hits but 13 singles. They have 9 hits and 6 of them have been extra base hits here tonight.
4 home runs, a pair of doubles, and one of those nearly left the ballpark. 3-2 to Young. Harris hit the first Twins home run with a couple of men aboard in the second. Gutierrez into the gap in right center, making the catch for out number 2. And that'll bring up Harris. Eight of the runs will be charged to Jakubowskis. And Batista already on the hook for 2 runs. Again, the word on Joe Crede is he suffered a hamstring strain in the ball game last night in Baltimore. Harris with a liner to left, and that'll sink in front of Chavez for a base hit. So that'll get the 9th man to bat, Bernard Span, up to the plate here in the 5th. They don't know whether Crede will be ready to go tomorrow or Sunday, but you and I both know how cautious the Twins are with these types of things, particularly on the artificial turf. I wouldn't be surprised if they let Crede just sit and watch this weekend with an off day on Monday and give him every chance to recover, but that of course remains to be seen. Span takes outside a ball.
Well, again, Dick, you talk about the length of the season. You're going to have guys like Crede that are going to have to miss 2 or 3 games, and it gives guys like Brian Bucher and Brendan Harris opportunities to get some at bats, and they want to take advantage of that.
Span with a 1-hopper to Brandy, and the inning ends, but very good inning for the Twins with 3 home runs hit in the inning, and they tack on 5 more runs.
Couple in the first, and then Brendan Harris's 3-run in the second. And the Twins hitting 3 home runs in the 5th. And Scott Baker out to start his 6th inning. 73 pitches. Has retired the last 10 Mariners in a row.
Yuniesky Betancourt takes strike 1.
Now, as a pitcher with a lead like this, Dick, you still think it's 1-0. You still have to bear down and pitch your ball game.
We're approaching the part of the game where Baker had a problem doing just that in his last start. Betancourt with a leadoff single here in the 6th. Well, tough road trip for the Twins. Weather situations, 3 straight losses, and travel, and a little levity out on the field before the game today.
Well, they're talking about how to break up a double play. And Jerry White, bad ankle at all. Running over the bucket and having some fun, and that's what you need.
Here's Ichiro, and he follows up Betancourt's hit with one into right field, and the Mariners get their first 2 base runners aboard here in the 6th.
Well, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what hurt Baker last time. He had that no-hitter going into the 7th inning, and he had a 4-0 lead, and all of a sudden, you just kind of relax, and those pitches are right there. And Mariners aren't going to give up. That's why you have to keep making quality pitches.
See, I'll admit, when that happened in Baker's last start, the Twins scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th. And I was thinking, okay, well, that'll help him relax, and I think he's got a decent chance of getting a no-hitter because of that. Well, whether he relaxed or not, instead just the opposite happened, and the whole inning blew up in his face.
Well, this is the focus right here. This is the time that you have to really bear down. These guys are getting their 3rd at bat against him. And Baker, you can see the first time around, second time around, and then the 3rd time around, they see that fastball doesn't have a lot of movement, and you get it up, and they're going to tommyhawk it.
And Chavez takes a ball 1-1.
This is where you have to refocus as a pitcher, too. You have to get back down in the strike zone.
Two and 1.
Roy Smalley, you've seen it before. Sometimes pitchers can't pitch with big leads.
I've stood out as shortstop behind a lot of pitchers, Bert, that do exactly what it appears what you guys are talking about. They get a big lead, and then they're afraid to walk anybody, and they throw the ball down the middle, and all of a sudden they're getting knocked around. I agree with you. They've got to pitch the same way that they were pitching that got them the 5 shutout innings to start with.
Right.
Pillman Young comes in from left field to make the catch, 1 away.
To think that you don't have to keep coming inside and throwing breaking balls and keeping the ball down. I mean, these big league hitters, when the score gets to 10-0, the manager doesn't even put the take sign on anymore. A lot of times there'll be a 4 or 5 run lead, a 6-run lead. The manager will say, okay, let's take a strike. But with a 10-run lead, they say, if you get a ball down the middle, go ahead. If he's going to lay it right in there, then you go to hacking, and you got to keep pitching.
Here's Lopez. 0 for 2. Another pop-up. This one to deep short. Harris underneath it. Infield fly rules called, so the batter's out, 2 down.
I think that's a good example of what Roy was talking about right there. Lopez jumping on that first pitch because it's up in the zone, and he got underneath it. 2 big outs right there, getting Chavez and Lopez. If you're a pitcher and you have a game like this, my goodness, you want that shutout. You want to keep going. You want that shutout right now. You don't look at the scoreboard and say, I've got 81 pitches. You're focused in on that catcher's glove.
Branyan has struck out twice. Well, the hope is that Baker and the Twins will still have that shutout to protect going into the 9th, but I know for a fact Ron Gardenhire would love to give Joe Nathan an inning. He hasn't pitched much. There's an off day coming up on Monday, and if might be that Baker's bid for a shutout might be
I'm not talking about a 9-inning shutout. I'm saying go 7 maybe innings, go 8 innings of shutout ball.
A shutout, not just Baker's
just
shutout.
for the team.
Right. There's Nathan. Twins haven't been able to get him too many save opportunities.
When you get the opportunity to bury a ball club, you bury him. You bury him, and if you don't let, that's the way you have to play the game.
And Bert, don't you think too that it's important for pitchers to, as you say, keep burying guys, but also not give them the idea that you're ever going to just throw the ball down the middle. He's going to pitch against these guys again, and there's going to be scouts watching how he pitches, and I think a guy's got to just keep going at him the way he was trying to in the first 3 innings, even when he's got a 10-run lead.
This is a point here, Roy, that, the longer Baker goes in this ball game, be it one more inning, whatever it is, it's going to help Francisco Liriano tomorrow because he's starting tomorrow. And wouldn't it be nice because he's going to face Felix Fernandez? That's going to be a tough ball game. But when a team is able to shut out another team, it does make you feel more confident going out that I can do the same thing.
Just off the plate. And it's 2-2.
I think that's a great point, Bert, and not only for him to get confidence, for Frankie Liriano to get confidence that he can do the same thing, but also watch how it's done, how Baker is doing it, and keep coming inside, then go outside, and come in and throw a breaking ball. He'll see him spot the fastball and say, I can do that too.
And now 3-2 with Beltre on deck.
Sid Hartman came up in our booth. What would Sid Hartman want in our booth?
Free food. We got the night crawlers.
He's talking to me with my headset on. He thinks I can hear him.
3-2 to Branyan. Baker trying to finish off his 6th shutout inning.
Get him out right here. Challenge him hard.
Drilled to center.
We got a man there.
Is there.
All right, good.
A rocket for the 3rd out of the 6th, and Baker again today has 6 shutout innings.
You see where that ball hits high off that wall, bounces back in, but it's a double for Jason Kubel.
Wow. The Frost Brewed Coors Light Freeze Can. And Matt Tolbert leading off the Twins' 6th inning. Bauer and Morneau to follow. Tolbert with a big double in the 1st inning. He sent one to the gap in left center field. Span had singled to start the inning, and the Twins got a couple of runs across on productive outs, 3-0. Alexi Casilla has not played, at least prior to tonight, for Rochester yet. Tolbert takes a 4-pitch walk. Bauer will come to the plate. The Home Depot doing more on defense.
Oh, remember Tolbert made that great play against Ichiro Suzuki right there. Nice play. It's how quick he comes in and quickly gets it over to Morneau to get the speedy Ichiro.
Mauro with a couple of runs batted in, including a solo home run his last time up. Down and away, ball one. Mauer's 27th plate appearance, and one of the things to follow as we move along here, and assuming Joe remains healthy, is what will have to happen for him to get enough plate appearances to possibly qualify for another batting championship. We don't know whether Joe's going to hit well enough to win another batting championship, but that's tough enough as a catcher. But another challenge this year, getting enough plate appearances, being healthy enough to recover from missing the first month of the season.
Yeah, I think that'll, kind of take its own toll as you go through the summer, and how his health is. As long as he stays healthy, you get into late August, part of September, they'll know how many at-bats he needs. I know Roy Smalley wants to kind of go in. I think the importance of these two guys, the M&M brothers, in this lineup. Roy, I believe you're down there.
Yeah, I am, Bert. What I'm thinking about is the productive at-bats that Joe and Justin had in the first inning. I really think it's obscured by the 4 home runs. I mean, it looked like the Twins broke out tonight, but I really think it might have been a different story had they not had those productive at-bats. Those 2 runs in the first inning after a tough road trip.
Mauer with a line drive single to right.
They were in Baltimore and really didn't play Twins baseball, and then they get the opportunity. Tolbert gives them a little lift there with a double in the first inning, and Joe gets 1 over and 1 in, and Justin Morneau drives in the other with sacrifice flies, and all of a sudden they're up 2-0. Something they hadn't done for quite a while is jump out to the lead, and they did it without the benefit of singles and doubles and home runs. They played good fundamental baseball, and I could feel a palpable difference down here in the way they felt about themselves on the bench after that.
Morneau takes up and away.
You know what, Roy? I think that's a very good point, because home runs, you talk about those that allowed the Twins to take a 2-0 or 10-0 lead, but it's that first inning that put the Twins on the board. It's Mauer's ground out to second that got Tolbert over to third that scored Span, and then allowing Justin to get that sacrifice fly to pick up the second run. That's Twins baseball. That's what Ron Gardenhire and his coaching staff want to see.
Robbie Innsmolkowski talked about it during the game, that the Twins had bad statistics with 2 guys on and getting both of them in, and they did that well in the first inning, and I think it really loosened the club up.
2-1 to Morneau. No activity in the Mariner pen, as wobbly as Batista has been in his outing. He's only retired 2 batters, excuse me. Three and 1 to Morneau with Kubel on deck.
Well, it's been a struggle for Batista last year, and then he didn't have bad numbers coming into this outing, but 2 years ago when he first joined the Mariners, he won 16 ball games. And then last year he lost 14 ball games. In and out of the rotation, maybe because of that arm problem, but he's a guy that's really been pretty durable over his career.
Morneau got a hefty swing at that pitch left up, and it's 3-2. When he won 16 ball games, he did so with an ERA of 4.29. That's okay.
In today's game, that's not bad.
That's okay. But then last year, his ERA mushroomed by 2 runs a game to 6.26. Full count to Morneau. Nobody gone here in the 6th. And now they're loaded up for Kubel.
I remember Batista started a game against the Twins last year, and I think I said on the air, his arm's not right. I mean, he's a guy that has an assortment of pitches, but when you can't control the fastball, something's not right in there.
Rick Adair going to the mound. Don Wakamatsu on the phone, and Jason Kubel will come to the plate with the bases loaded.
Batista, 38 years old. This is his 20th year of pro ball, his 15th at the major league level. He's made 484 appearances at the major league level.
Jason Vargas. When the Mariners were here a month ago, they didn't have a left-handed reliever. Now they've got a couple of them.
Yeah.
Vargas, one of them.
A couple guys on a disabled list, and I think there's 4 different relievers out on that bullpen that were not here a month ago.
And of course, Jakubowskis was a reliever when they were here a month ago. Now he's a starter. Kubel up with the bases loaded. And he has done very well in situations like this in his young major league career. Popped up. It should reach the seats. The career record for grand slams is held by Lou Gehrig with, I believe, 24.
Wow.
Grand slams, and I think Manny Ramirez was second with 20. Kubel already has 5. 1-1. It sounds so simple, but Kubel, when I asked him about his success with the bases loaded, and this is before he hit the big one to complete the cycle a couple weeks ago. Fouled away. I said it took him a while to understand that in situations like this, all of the pressure is on the pitcher.
That's where I was going to go with my comment. You know, when you're a good hitter and you're a pitcher out there and you have bases loaded, the last thing you want to do is walk that guy. So you have to make sure that you make him make contact. And Kubel's a good hitter, so we'll see if he can make good contact.
Another one down the left field line, and Chavez is going to chase this one and get there. Tagging and trying to score is Tolbert, and he'll reach. Will the Twins need the 11th run? We sure hope not, but Kubel gets credit for an RBI.
Second time that Tolbert has had to tag up at third base. He did it in the first inning off the bat of Justin Morneau. And right here he tags up again and scores for the second time in a ball game. Chavez getting underneath that ball. Showing off a pretty good arm right there, but Tolbert and his speed scores the 11th run for the Twins.
Carlos Gomez will hit for Michael Cuddyer.
And for Kubel, his 17th RBI of the year.
Didn't mean to. A little check swing grounder to second. Gomez gone on one pitch with the runners moving to second and third. And that'll bring up Bucher. Rangers leading the White Sox 6-0. It's in the bottom of the 7th. And Jose Contreras making the start for the White Sox. Batista taking the game 2, but not through the 6th inning. Kyle Busch will try to defend his title against a full field of the world's best drivers. Coverage of Sprint Cup Series racing from Darlington begins tomorrow at 6 p.m. in high definition under the lights on Fox.
Well, left-hander Jason Vargas coming into the ballgame. He missed all of last year when he was with the Mets due to a labrum tear in his left hip. Those are his numbers just getting called up on May 1st. Started the season in AAA Tacoma for the Mariners. Came over from the Mets in the J.J. Putz trade.
Bucher 1 for 4 against lefties, taking ball 1. And these are the at-bats where Bucher really wants to bear down and just have a good at-bat. Whether he gets a hit or not, whether he strikes out or not, just battle.
Well, he'll definitely do that.
Down the line, foul, and that's a marker in the right correct column for Bucher. You know, you're a platoon player, which is what Bucher has been. He hasn't seen much action against lefties, and you want to change that. You want to prove that you can hit against righties and lefties. Popped up left side. And Betancourt will wait a long time for that one to come down, and it does finally. The Twins get one more in the 6th. Lead it 11-0. Long balls for the Twins.
Oh, Brendan Harris, a 3-run home run in the 2nd inning. That gave the Twins a 5-0 lead. And then we saw back-to-back home runs. Joe Mauer with his 2nd home run, followed by Justin Morneau with his 7th. And later in the inning, Brian Bucher, a 3-run home run, his 1st of the year.
Adrian Beltre leading off the 7th. Up and in, ball 1. Beltre, Griffey, and Jojima scheduled to hit. And Art Span getting a few innings in right field with Gomez taking over in center. And the 7th inning starts as the 6th did with a single. Ken Griffey Jr. will hit on the Firestone leaderboard. Taking a look at the active home run leaders. Griffey in at 613. 2 on the year, and the first one on opening day here. And Ramirez won't be hitting one for a while.
It'll be interesting through this steroid era what the writers do with all those home run hitters.
That's why I thought it's significant what Juan Marichal said about Ramirez. And Marichal had gotten to know Manny Ramirez, befriended him. Marichal also from the Dominican Republic,
right.
And Ramirez's family roots are there, and profoundly disappointed in the development yesterday and saying that anybody who cheats should not go to the Hall of Fame. And I thought it significant that that came from a Hall of Famer.
Right.
And the Baseball Hall of Fame is so much more difficult to get into than the Basketball Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame. Griffey driving it to right. Span with a nice catch. And he fires it back into the infield. And Griffey might have something to say about that to Span during batting practice tomorrow.
Span getting a very good jump right there. Baker leaving that ball up. Griffey hitting it sharply, but Span picking him up on the other side.
So Griffey stinging the ball, but retired for the third time tonight. That'll bring up Jojima. Well, keeping in mind, of course, that entrance into the Hall of Fame comes in two categories: the writers and then the Veterans Committee. The Veterans Committee now is made up primarily of existing Hall of Famers, and the writers have shown no sympathy for the likes of Palmeiro and McGuire.
Right.
So there's no reason to believe that Bonds, Rodriguez, as lofty as their numbers are, there's no reason to believe that they'll cut them any slack on this either.
Right. And they should not.
And so then you're left with the Veterans Committee way down the road for these guys. And to hear the likes of Marichal and others say, you know what, I don't think they should go in because they cheated the game. It might not be much of a debate. Two strikes to Jojima. Going back our way. And remember the phrasing I think that A. Bartlett Giamatti used regarding Pete Rose was that he stained the game. And certainly Rose's accomplishments on the field were worthy of certainly first ballot inclusion into the Hall of Fame, if not unanimous. Bouncer left side, picked off by Harris.
Wow.
Got him! What a play! Brandon Harris with a long throw to get Jojima at first.
Well, Jojima, good running catcher. Now he spent some time on a disabled list with that hamstring, but look at Harris. Backhanded, and then the long throw just getting Jojima as Justin picking that ball on that one hop. Very close play, goes the Twins' way.
Beltre going to second base. Here's Gutierrez. Swing and a miss.
Well, Jesse Crain warming up in the bullpen. This might be Baker's last inning. 98 pitches. So you want to get this final out right here. Keep the shutout intact.
And the seventh inning, of course, was the fateful inning for Baker in his last start. Oh, and 2. Mentioned the Mariners have been struggling offensively over the last week or so. Now you look at what they've done offensively. Baker has not walked a man. They have 5 hits and all of them are singles. Check swing. Nope. And it's 1 and 2.
Well, 100 pitches for Baker. 72 have been strikes. Outstanding ball to strike ratio.
1-2 to Gutierrez. Got him. 7 shutout innings for Scott Baker. And if he's done for the night, he comes off the mound with an 11-0 lead. Sports North is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. By Dodge. Live strong, live bold, live now. Dodge. Grab life. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing. Well, Scott Baker getting handshakes and deserved handshakes. 7 shutout innings. Was able to pitch with the lead almost all night long and didn't give anything back.
Well, you mentioned last inning. No walks, 5 strikeouts for Baker.
1 strike to Delman Young, leading off the Twins' 7th inning.
I guarantee you after the ball game, if they ask him something, he'll say those 2 runs in the first inning relaxed me a little bit. And then they added 3 more, so the Twins doing a good job tonight of adding on to their lead.
2 strikes. Young, Harris, and Span due up. To center and down for a hit. So Delman Young has his 2nd hit. Now, they're almost all singles, but Young very quickly getting his batting average up near 300. Now, I know Twins fans are clamoring for Young to start driving the ball. Delman Young 2 for 3 tonight. He's reached 3 times. Doing quite well here in the month of May.
Well, he hit .288 in his first full season with the Rays a couple years ago. Hit .290 for the Twins last year. And they still feel at 23 years old that power is there, but he's a good average hitter.
Harris hooks it foul. 1 double, 1 home run on the year for Young, who's now got 23 hits and 21 singles. Harris drilled his 2nd home run of the year. That if the 2-0 lead allowed Scott Baker to relax, the 5-0 lead allowed him to loosen that top button and take a deep breath. As unsettling as his last start was, you can't forget the fact that he did put 6 zeros up to start the game.
Yeah, I mean, that was a positive right there. Then he kind of lost it in the 7th, but here tonight he got through 7.
Squirted off the end of the bat and now thrown away by Lopez. Young froze, and Lopez probably should have just gone ahead and tagged Young and gotten that out.
I think what he wanted to do was run Young back to first base and then quickly throw it over to Branyan. But Harris hustling down the line. right here. He wants to run Young back, but then he overshoots Branyan. Throws him a pea, actually. Right here behind Delman Young. So Branyan's got like, where's the ball?
We'll wait on the scoring. Span takes low, ball 1.
I would imagine just be a fielder's choice and then an error on Lopez. Just E4.
Span lifts it foul and out of play, 1-1. Span single to start the ball game, just hit a little flare into left field, but then Tolbert hit a ringing double. Twins had a couple of runs in the first since then. Span is 0 for 3. It's down the left field line, and Chavez, trying to cover it with his speed, will make a foul ball catch. 1 away. Minnesota Twins Pro Shops are convenient places to get tickets and merchandise, and tomorrow morning you can meet a Twins player. Michael Kadire, Mike Redmond, and Brendan Harris will be appearing from 11 to 12:30. Twins Pro Shops are located in Minnetonka, Roseville, and Apple Valley. Call 800-33 Twins for more details. Here's Tolbert. Reached twice again tonight and has scored. Into the Twins dugout. You know, the Twins still believe that Alexi Casilla is going to help them, and they may get him back here before the All-Star break. But Tolbert has done what Casilla was not doing, getting on base, scoring runs, and so far in just a handful of games being an ideal number 2 hitter.
Well, again, Ron Gardenhire saying that, you know, Tolbert should have made the ball club out of spring training, but it just became a numbers game. Oh, and Casilla was really struggling. Tolbert swinging a good bat in Rochester. He took the assignment, worked his tail end down there, and he's back up again.
And as we said the other day, Tolbert given the same opportunity at about the same time of the year that Casilla was given a year ago.
That was because Tolbert got hurt.
Yep. Popped up wide of first, and Branyan will chase it, but it's back in the seats. They've been treated to an outburst by the Twins. 4 home runs, 11 runs, a dozen hits, and 7 shutout innings pitched by Scott Baker. That's to left, and Chavez coming in, making the catch. Young not going anyplace. 2 down, and that'll bring up Mauer. Couple of hits, couple of runs batted in, his second home run of the year. Give you some idea what Mauer has to make up. You need to average 3.1 plate appearances per game per game that the team plays, not what Joe Mauer plays, what the team plays, to finish with the 502 needed to qualify for a batting championship. After today's game, it's the 30th game for the Twins. That would mean 96 plate appearances to be listed among the leaders should you have an average that high. With the now 5 plate appearances tonight, Mauer is at 28, so he's got a little making up to do. Down and away, 2-1. Toronto leading the struggling Oakland A's 3-0. A's are banged up. Team in the league with the fewest number of wins. They only have won 10 ball games.
Yeah, 10-16, and they're only 4 games behind the Texas Rangers that are leading the Western Division.
3-1. And since we've at length talked about Mauer needing to catch up plate appearances, if he were to walk here, that's still a plate appearance. It's not an at-bat, and sometimes there's some confusion about that as well. A sacrifice fly is a plate appearance, not an at-bat. Takes a strike, 3-2.
Good breaking ball right there from Vargas. Vargas originally signed by the Marlins in 2004 out of Long Beach State, Southern California. See if he comes back with it again. Justin Morneau on deck.
And a little bouncer to the right side. Lopez makes the play. So the error doesn't do any damage. It twins strand a couple. On to the 8th. It's 11-0. Burke and Anthony take an in-depth look at charging grounders. There's our Mountain Dew fan of the game.
Yep. Little baby waving.
5 weeks old, and that youngster's name is Ryan. Great baseball
But
name.
he doesn't know that yet.
You don't think so? Here's Betancourt against Jesse Crane. Just outside, ball 1.
Yeah, for Jesse Crane, he's making his second appearance since coming off the disabled list. Activated on May 3rd. He last worked on Tuesday in Detroit, 1 shutout inning.
Comes back with a breaking ball over for a strike.
Crane put on a disabled list in the middle of April with right shoulder inflammation.
Gomez to the gap, leaps and makes a catch. Nice running catch by Gomez, and a nice reach at the end.
Boy, Betancourt clobbered this ball right here. It was starting to take off, and Gomez getting over there quickly with his speed, but then has to leap to try to make the catch, and he does. That ball just kept going. But Gomez comes down with a nice running catch.
One down in the 8th. And Ichiro will hit. Over for a strike.
Ichiro playing with the high tops.
Punch to left. Delman Young makes a catch. So a couple of outfield flies here off the bats of the Mariner hitters against Jesse Crain. But again, in our Quest Twins Live postgame show, the subject matter, the instructional, is going to be charging grounders.
Yeah, and Ichiro was part of this right here. Little chopper that gets by Baker, and Tolbert has to come in. And an all-one motion, do that. I can't wait to see Roy Smalley do that.
Here's Endy Chavez taking a strike.
I'll be the first baseman. I'll let Roy.
Ron Gardenhire asked about Tolbert before the game today. What's his best position? And just saying he thought he felt more comfortable at short because he's played there more often, but he made a fine play at second early enough in the ball game that it really mattered. 1-1. Ron Gardenhire knows a little bit about changing positions in the infield. When he played, he had to do that. And Jesse showing more and more confidence with that big breaking ball.
Yeah, something that he worked on in spring training, more of a curveball than the slider. Little bigger break. Good tight rotation.
A lot of shutouts up on the board tonight in the American League. Detroit beat Cleveland 1-0. Yankees beat Baltimore 4-0. Texas beat Chicago 6-0. Toronto leading Oakland 3-0. And right here it's 11-0.
Yeah, that was CC Sabathia who started for the Yankees.
One and two to Chavez. It's down the line and foul. Ten pitches, 8 strikes for Crain. Two and two. Bounce to second. Here at the Metrodome, 8 shutout innings, and the Twins have an 11-0 lead.
Mackey. Welcome back to Twins Baseball. Coming up tonight on Quest Twins Live, featuring the Toyota postgame wrap. Charging grounders are instructional with Roy and with Bert. Power explosion. Twins explode for 11 runs tonight after scoring a total of 5 in their 3 previous games. Plus, Ron Gardenhire reacts. That's all coming up following the game on Quest Twins Live, featuring the Toyota postgame wrap. Now, I know why you're putting me back on camera. It's the tie knot. Bert, let me just explain myself,
terrible.
okay? Let me explain. Just calm down for a second. I had to go eat dinner. I have no luck with this stuff. If had I kept the tie on, I would have spilled like some ranch dressing on it or something.
Why don't you put like a napkin, in your collar?
So it looks like I'm at McDonald's and I'm 2 again?
Hey, I got an idea.
I mean, I helped you before the ball game.
And I want this to be a continuous lesson so I could do without you holding my hand like you did tonight.
Yeah, but you tried to retie it.
You tied my tie. You tied, just so our viewers don't know, you tied my tie during BP today, and I took it off to eat dinner and had to retie it. I tried to do it, but couldn't.
Can't you just loosen it, pull it over your head, and then put it back on?
He hasn't figured that out yet. It's
You're
a
right.
slow process.
I want to learn. I want to do it on my own, Bert.
Well, how about this? I mean, we're wearing these ties. Robbie, we could get him some bow ties to wear.
I'm going to clip-ons.
Or you could just do a clip-on like I'm back in high school in South Philly. Just throw the clip on.
Yeah, your grandmother would be proud of you.
Oh, yes, she would.
1-2 to Morneau, and now 2-2. Kind of like the bow tie idea. You know how to tie a bow tie?
No. Mine are already, like for the Diamond Award.
The clip-on bow tie?
I know how to clip it on, but I don't know how to tie it. You know how to tie it?
No, I don't, but I might do that. I might get a bow tie and have somebody teach me how to tie it. They're coming back, I understand. Morneau retired at first, 1 down.
Well, Mark Lowe, the new pitcher for the Seattle Mariners, the 4th pitcher used here tonight. Lowe making his 13th relief appearance. No record out of the bullpen. Very good 3.86 ERA in 11 2/3 innings. Lowe in his 4th season with the Mariners.
Here's Kubel. Scored a run, driven in a run, nearly hit a home run. Hit it off the top of the short baggy in center field. Check swing and 1-1. Joe Nathan is warming up in the Twins bullpen, so it looks like he'll get the 9th inning in a non-save situation.
He just needs work.
Kubel, the liner to center and a base hit. 1 out in the 8th inning. You guys are going to do your instructional on charging grounders, and one thing I want you to try to find out from Roy Smalley, who had to charge a lot of grounders in his day. It was a question asked by a broadcaster years ago, whose name I can't remember. Why is it that the bad hop is always on the last hop? You ever notice that?
Yeah. That's a good point.
It has to do with the glove that it's missing.
But you never see a bad hop. If there are 4 hops, it's never on the 2nd or the 3rd hop. It's always on the one as it gets close to the field.
Well, it's because you're not paying any attention to the 2nd hop. There's a lot of bad hops in the 2nd one, but there's not a glove around it.
Oh, okay. All right. 1-0 to Carlos Gomez. A high fly, short center field. Gutierrez waits, makes the catch.
Dick, that reminds me of a great line John Lowenstein, the old Baltimore Oriole outfielder, had one time. He said, I've got the great idea. We can eliminate all the bang-bang plays at first. Let's just move first base 1 stride back. Make it be 92 feet.
I like that. 92 rather than 88.
Yeah, like 92 feet and eliminate all the bang-bang plays.
Brian Bucher has scored a couple of runs and driven in 3 with his first home run of the year. Up and away, ball 1. As we said, somewhere in that 5th inning, I think it was after Bucher's home run, everybody in the Twins starting lineup scored a run tonight. Probably haven't been able to say that for a while. Swing and a foul, 1-1.
Well, good swing right there by Bucher, fouling it straight back.
Mentioned that the Twins were pretty impressed with the arms in the Seattle bullpen a month ago when the Mariners opened the season here, and Lowe's arm was one of the ones that they really thought looked good and alive. Of course, it's easy at the start of the year, I guess, to do that, but the liner to left, Chavez comes in to end the inning, and Lowe has another scoreless inning, giving up Kubel base hit. To the 9th, Joe Nathan will have an 11-run lead to protect. Game reset. The Twins from the 1st inning on having some fun tonight.
Well, they scored a couple in the 1st, and then the big 3-run home run by Brendan Harris in the 2nd made it a 5-0 ball game, and then 3 home runs and 5 runs in the 5th. Open the game up, and the Twins have a 11-0 lead, and Joe Nathan would like to help Scott Baker and Jesse Crain get this shutout.
Jose Lopez will lead off the 9th. Nathan hits the outside corner with his first pitch.
Well, the last time Joe was on the mound was last Saturday here against the Kansas City Royals, where he worked 1 shutout inning in that 10-7 11-inning loss to the Royals.
2 strikes.
Joe would like to pitch a lot more than 9 innings going into about 5 weeks of the season. He does have 4 saves on the year. He picked up his first save here against the Mariners back on April 8th.
Ron Gardenhire said this afternoon these things tend to go in streaks for closers. You go for a long time without a save opportunity, then you might get 4 save opportunities in 5 games, and they tend to fall like dominoes. 1 and 2. One of the reasons the American League Central race looks like it's going to be so good. Mauer stung by that foul tip. That might have gotten both Mauer and the home plate umpire. Mauer on the left thigh and Chuck Merriweather somewhere around the belt line. 1 and 2. Great catch by Morneau. Timed his leap perfectly for the first out. Time for a look at our Land Rover extraordinary play tonight.
Well, that came in the second inning when Brendan Harris stepped to the plate, worked the count in his favor, 3-1. And over the baggie, a 3-run home run. Gave the Twins a 5-0 lead.
One gone. Here's Russell Branyan. Started to say one of the reasons the American League Central race figures to be fascinating. You look at the 5 teams, and they've all got pretty good closers. Even the Tigers now with Fernando Rodney are having some success. He's throwing the ball hard and doing a nice job as their closer. The Royals with Joaquin Soria, Bobby Jenks, the White Sox, Kerry Wood with the Indians, and Joe Nathan for the Twins.
Yeah, right now leading the American League of saves is Frankie Francisco with the Texas Rangers with 9.
2 strikes, and now up and away, 1-2. Angels have an early lead on the Royals, by the way, 1-0 in the third. Two and two.
Branyan wants a new baseball.
The Twins win this game, they'll pull into a virtual tie with the White Sox. Got him looking. And Branyan's gone for the 3rd time on strikes tonight.
Well, he wanted a new baseball. He didn't know that new baseball clipped the corner down and away. Well, let's take a look at our Quest player of the game, Scott Baker, who came into the ball game 0-4 with an ERA over 9. What a job tonight. 7 shutout innings for Scott Baker. Some early run support. Able to put the zeros on the board. No walks, 5 strikeouts.
And now Beltre facing Nathan. And that got Mauer in the mask. Strike 1. And Ron Gardenhire saying he wanted Mauer's bat in the lineup in all 3 games, twice as a catcher, once as a designated hitter. And based on what's happened here in the 9th inning, Joe may get his DH day tomorrow.
Well, catchers have to have strong necks, don't they? It was a jolt off of that mask.
1 strike. And now 2. Twins have an off day on Monday, so it could be Mauer will DH tomorrow, catch Sunday, and take Monday off. Trying to cap off a wonderful start to the homestand. One and 2. Two and 2. Beltre taps at 5. Baker, when he was pitching, had 3 1-2-3 innings. Crane pitched a 1-2-3 8th. Nathan trying to pitch a 1-2-3 9th. The losing streak is over, and the homestand starts with a resounding, convincing win.
Well, Ron Gardenhire is going to say it all because of pitching. Yes, the Twins were able to put some runs on the board early, but it was Scott Baker who took the ball.